From the Middle is a founding member of Odd Pods Media. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to episode number 327. We are three middle-class guys living in the middle of America and middle chapters of our lives with cultural points of view somewhere in the middle. In this episode, hey, it's my birthday, and whatever I want to call vegetables is vegetables. We talk a little bit about some things white women say. Corey finally makes it to the fourth season and has a bad time. And we talk about some things that we're streaming. We think you're going to love this episode.
Oh, for the love. Sorry, just clearing my Mountain Dew hole.
I got my phone hole cleaned today.
That's where you keep it? You're so cerebral and you're so developed and evolved.
Don't want to miss anything.
Don't want to miss a thing.
The good stuff really happens before we hit record. Unfortunately for you all.
Listeners know.
They're like, we assumed as much.
Why are they still doing this? It must be before they hit record.
That's the comedy portion of the comedy and culture.
Yeah.
It all happens before we hit the record button.
Hey, we already made an acknowledgement before the record button about Corey's new gear that he's wearing, which is looking pretty sweet. And man, he's getting paid by Mercedes and Adidas.
I did some work for one of these companies this week, and so it felt fitting to wear it.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. What do you think is the point with some of those jerseys where they go, that's enough. We've done. Put enough logos on them.
I mean, for a couple $1 million, we could squeeze one more in. I think that's the real answer.
Yeah.
What I do appreciate is when they at least make the logos all one color, right? Like if they try to keep all these companies' colors, it would be too much. So if they reverse it out and put it in white or whatever, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I imagine if somebody's paying, they'll find room.
Yeah, I appreciate that same thing about strip malls, by the way, that have obviously some kind of mandated thing for the businesses in the strip mall that, hey, when you put a sign up, it has to meet these specifications, and it all looks nice.
Cohesive. We like a cohesive look.
Yeah. Make it look like it belongs here kind of situation. I'm a fan of it. I notice it.
How are you guys doing? What's been going on? We're recording a little late this week.
We are.
Travel schedules and family priorities were more important. That's how priorities work. So we're recording a little late. Thank you for being patient, Middlers. Have you had a good week, guys? What's going on? Do you have any stories?
Dillon, how's your week, buddy?
Good. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it was my birthday this week. So happy birthday to me. I celebrated. Still not as old as you guys.
Well, we were going to bring it up, Dillon, but since
ruined it,
just not fast enough, I guess.
Yeah. I know I said not as old as you guys yet. That's not how math works with ages, but a year older, not quite in my 40s yet. So just slow burn till we hit that big wall. It was good. My company tells everyone to take their birthday off. So I took my birthday off, and my wife, Bree, and I went to a nice lunch. And then we were very adulty because we went to Costco after and got stuff at Costco on the way home. And then over a couple days when we didn't have grown-up chores to do on other days, I caught up on some stuff that I'd been wanting to watch. So birthday, good. Busy week teaching my daughter how to ride a bike. She did great tonight. Really off.
Oh, for real? You're actually teaching?
Yeah. Not only, believe it or not only was I actually outdoors for something in a manicured community that's not the woods or a pond. I also taught my child how to do something. So
very good. And caught up on watching things. That is time management skill, my friend.
Turns out it's not a this or that. It's a yes and. You know what I mean? You can teach them how to do things and try to catch up on some stuff you've been wanting to watch. So yeah, it's been a good week. And then went to the office a couple days over the last week. Big boss took a few folks out to dinner. That was very nice. Went to a nice restaurant in downtown Columbus as well. So yeah, just eating a little better this week than normal. You know, can't have Taco Bell every day.
That's why you texted me on your birthday from Costco asking if I would like a case of sugar-free Red Bull.
I'm very thoughtful that way. Not only was it a case of sugar-free Red Bull, it was a case of sugar-free Red Bull with a considerable sale. I think it was 20% off or 10 or 20% off or something. So I thought, you know, if anybody needs a whole case of Red Bull, it's Corey.
So I had plans to message you later in the day. I was on Pacific time and I was like, I'm going to give like a thoughtful or funny birthday message later, but you texted first with that. So I was like, well, I can't not reply now and wait till I was going to do what I was going to do because his thing is time sensitive. So I was like, no, thank you. Also, happy birthday. Not the way I wanted to tell you.
Yeah. Kind of my lot in life to pull the wind out of people's sails. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just whatever I can do, really drag people down.
You know, I always appreciate people wishing me happy birthday, no matter how they do it. But I think what gets me is when it's a text message from somebody whom I didn't expect would know my birthday. Mm-hmm. And you got a text from none other than Grabman the Brisket's finest. It's not a competition, but he's just the one who talks to us most. Jonathan Lathrop, which was admittedly my listen. I understand that the rest of the world
doing so much qualifying.
I really am.
Right. You should never think, Kendall.
I should never
just say what you want to say and let your words land where they land and assume positive intent.
Life is so much easier as the Undertaker.
I don't scroll through social media, and that's everybody's dirty little secret. You're not remembering everybody's birthday. You're not. You see it on social media. I know how it works. I don't do the social media thing so much, and so I missed birthdays. Mm-hmm. But when I found out it was your birthday, Dillon, I immediately wanted to wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you.
Because I appreciate you, friend.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. My little tip on birthdays, because my social media tends to be more reading news and information than it is like just scrolling. I like reels and stuff. They're fun too, and I send those to you guys. But mine tends to be more like news or reels versus just like looking at posts. But my little tip for birthdays, for any, especially Apple users, I don't know if Android does this too. I couldn't care to learn. But if you're an Apple user, go under somebody's contact and put their birthday under their contact. And when you do, it populates their birthday onto your calendar. Oh, and if you know the year, it not only tells you their birthday, it tells you how old they are each year. And so then you have it right on your calendar every year with the right age and everything. So that's my tip for the Apple users. Put it under their contact, and then you'll see it on your calendar if you want to see birthdays.
Yeah, little by little. Otherwise, that's a lot of work.
Well, is that why your name on the Zoom call is Dillon from IT? Because you have powerful tips like that?
Little IT tips. No, but that works. I should have said yes, but no. That was a silly nod to the role that I do for the company where I work is in revenue operations. And somebody brought up today as we were having a silly bit of conversation with the team there, hey, is anybody else IT for like their whole network, like all their friends and family? And everyone just raised their hand on the entire call. So I was leaning into the Dillon from IT moniker because of a silly little inside joke today. But that too, yes. Also that. If you want Mac, Apple, other product tips, let me know. Shoot me a message.
Yeah.
So you said your company gives you everybody their birthday off. Do they make you report back to the team what you did for your birthday?
No, don't have to do that. Nope, you can just take the day off if you want. Even in the technology that we use for submitting time off, it even says birthday perk. So you didn't even have to just put like vacation day. Everyone knows what it is. No explanation required. Got it. Birthday.
Love that for you.
So, yeah, it was great. Nice long weekend. I enjoyed it.
Nice.
Good. Well, speaking of birthdays and getting older, there's certain things I feel like as I get older, and maybe other people can relate to this, that there's things that you just decide you're going to stop caring about anymore. And like, like hairlines and that kind of thing. Your day's coming, Dillon. But realization I had a couple of days ago was I am going to stop caring about reclassifying vegetables as things that, like a tomato. It's a vegetable. As far as I'm concerned, for the rest of my life, a tomato is a vegetable, and I don't have time to care about whether or not things are fruits or what kinds of fruits. I've decided in my own head that the way that the world should work is, generally speaking, how you use it, how you use the thing, or just what you generally believe. If it's something that like you don't like it as much as like a fruit, and so therefore you can just call it a vegetable from now on. Or like potatoes, like that's not a vegetable, it's a tuber. Well, no, it's a vegetable in my world from now on. Beans are also vegetables, and while we're at it, peanuts are nuts. Okay, I'm not putting up with the reclassifying things that we all should just know. Tomatoes are vegetables.
The thing you said about potatoes just now,
yeah,
is news to me, hot off the press. Vegetables or potatoes aren't vegetables; they're a tuber. Were you being funny? Is that a real thing? Is this like legumes?
No. I mean, I don't know, like Northwest Ohio, if like people classified things as tubers or not, but yeah, maybe a tuber is a type of vegetable. And are you serious? You guys have never heard of this before? Wow.
Like okay. Tuber? Tuber?
I feel like we're having the green bean casserole conversation all over again here. Yeah, it's a thing.
What? Are potatoes called tubers? That's what I'm Googling.
A tuber is a type. I don't know. Is it a type of vegetable or is it its own thing? And that was the specific example that came up where I just decided I'm not going to care anymore.
Yes, potatoes are classified as tubers.
Yeah.
They are specific. This is AI. Who knows if it's right? They are specifically known as stem tubers, which are thickened underground storage stems that grow from stolons. I don't know. Probably not Stalins. That's a little communist. Not roots. The eyes on a potato are actually nodes, in parentheses, buds, that can sprout into new plants. Potatoes are not root vegetables. They are modified swollen stems. I don't care for that. That store nutrients and starch for the plant. Because they are stems, potatoes have nodes, eyes, and internodes. Interesting. I've never
so
heard
while
of that
you're
before.
reading, Kendall, I was like, I love this newfound, I don't give a rip what category things are. I thought you were like specifically talking about vegetables. You're saying in general. And so when I first thought you were just talking about
oh no, it's very specific to vegetables.
Okay, so you're just classifying things in general. So I was like, how many other things would that even apply to?
Probably a lot of. I'll probably stumble across things where I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not worried about. For 1,000 years, we all understood tomatoes to be vegetables. We've all understood potatoes to be vegetables, and if I call a peanut a nut instead of a legume, and somebody corrects me, they're going to get an eye roll out of me. Like that's the way I'm going to treat these situations now.
I feel like I'm living that meme where the middle-aged woman is like confused and the math is like going past her head, like all the different math problems when I hear potatoes and tubers as a word that I've never heard before.
Yeah.
But I get the whole, like, it's more a classification based off vibes than it is science, is what you're saying. Like,
yeah,
tomatoes functionally operate like a vegetable. You're thinking about them like a vegetable. Potatoes are a vegetable. That's how we think of them. I don't.
Yeah. I just looked up like painting or picture of vegetables. And guess what's included in every one? Tomatoes.
Yeah. Vegetable juice from V8. Still a very proud tomato right there on the can. And if V8, the vegetable juice company, is calling that a vegetable, then it's good enough for me.
That's funny.
Is a mushroom technically fungi and not a vegetable?
Yeah, it can be a vegetable too.
How you use it, man?
Biologically, mushrooms are not vegetables. That's another one.
They're vegetables.
It's functionally, it's a vegetable.
It's a vegetable.
Scientifically, it's not. Functionally, it is.
Yeah, well, science needs to just stick to things that are important, like figuring out how to get more cream in between Oreo cookies.
I don't know if that's science, but it is a worthwhile pursuit. I agree with you. I'm fine. I'm on board. I'm on board with all the directionally accurate terms that aren't technically accurate terms.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So that's what I got. How are you, Corey?
Good. I have a question for you guys about travel. So if you follow our group, our Facebook group, yes, we're old. Apparently Facebook's for old people.
It is.
We have a Facebook group called From the Middle for the Middlers, and I started a survey over there based on this hypothesis. I travel enough to start to think that people travel with what I will call statement clothing. Typically shirts or hats. That's like they want to travel in that because they want people to see. And usually it's either where they're from, something representative of where they're from, something representative of where they're going. So like Maui, right? They're going to travel in their Maui shirt because they're going to Maui.
Yeah.
I've also begun to believe that maybe they travel with something from another place they've been, whether they're going there or not is irrelevant. It's just like I'm a traveler. Look at all the places I've been. Equivalent to putting stickers of all the places you've been on your roller bag. Or another category would be like your favorite comedian, band, sports team, which could, it could be Ohio State and could therefore be someplace you're from. But like, do you guys do this? Well, if you're traveling somewhere, and if so, which of those things would you do? Where I'm from, where I'm going, another place I go to show that I'm a well-traveled person, or my favorite band, comedian, musical artist, podcast, From the Middle t-shirt, hoodie, available now at TeePublic. Is it TeePublic? Where do we have our stuff?
Swing and merch.
Have you ever thought about this?
No.
Okay. Figures.
So as far as I would say, by and large, I don't do this with clothing. I mean, I wear what I wear. Where I like it, I don't. My wardrobe doesn't change a whole lot, even from season to season. And then my hat is just kind of like whatever my favorite hat at the moment is. And so like whatever hat I wore yesterday is probably the one I'm wearing on the road trip or to the plane tomorrow. By and large, there are some exceptions. So last year we went to Myrtle Beach for spring break and I bought a sun hat, kind of, not a that's girly. I don't know what to call it. Like a safari-ish kind of hat that is kind of popular now. You see guys our age anyway wearing them. I bought one and I wore it for the remainder of the trip. And then we're going to Hilton Head this summer. And I will likely wear that hat when I go to Hilton Head, but I otherwise don't wear that hat. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but like it specifically will say, it'd be different if it said Myrtle Beach on that hat.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I tend to not wear like printed stuff.
Okay, so here's some of so granted, the survey size was small. 26% of people say something that shows where I'm from.
Okay.
1% says something that shows where I'm going. 8% say something from another place I've been. 33% say something of my favorite band, comedian, musical artist, podcast, sports team, etc. 16% say I might inadvertently do this or I do it with way less thought than you've put into this poll. 8% say I don't do this at all. And another 8% say you think too much. Here are some of the comments. Midler Sherry, which I love. She says, I go to the other extreme when I travel and specifically choose clothing that shows absolutely nothing about me. This keeps people from yelling OH randomly in my ear. I said completely neutral equals little to no non-essential interactions. I love the move. Nat says, I think it's illegal to go to the Columbus airport without wearing OSU gear, and Rachel agrees. Amy's comment is the best, your wife. I mostly don't do it at all, but I think I have worn a shirt from another trip, I guess. Rachel's daughter, Gabby, says, I wear Taylor Swift merch so that it's man repellent. So anyway, I think more people do this than are willing to admit based on my observations when I travel. There's a lot of where I'm from or where I'm going are the most popular. And then you can tell people are sometimes wearing something that they're like, ask me about the concert I went to or the whatever.
No, that's funny. I think I would tend to, if I were to wear something specific or non-specific, I think I would go the other direction and with avoidance, right? Kind of like it was Sherry who had said that like she's trying to avoid being like anything about it.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that in that same spirit, but instead I'm trying to avoid looking like a tourist.
Yeah.
I think that's the direction I would go. So I'm not trying to say anything about myself other than I belong here.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You could go with the classic. What movie was it? My wife and her family would kill me because it's like their favorite movie, and I can't remember the name of it. But the shirt that says "Don't hassle me, I'm local." I forget what movie that's from.
I'll look it up. Keep talking.
But yeah, that same kind of vein. So I mean, I feel like I dress pretty normally and would basically blend in anywhere. And so I'm not too worried about it, but I otherwise would probably think about that.
It's from What About Bob?
What About Bob? That's right.
By Bill Murray as Bob White.
Bill Murray, yeah.
This probably doesn't surprise anyone who's listened for a while. This isn't a thing I think about at all. But and in fact, when people describe anything remotely fashionable, I end up having to almost always Google it. Somebody said resort chic the other day. No idea what that would even. I don't even know what that would mean. So
is that like a loose linen shirt?
Yeah. See, these things. I don't know.
I'm guessing that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Birkenstocks and a loose linen shirt and khaki shorts.
Sure. I recognize some of the words he said. It's not a thing I think about. So it's an interesting question, mostly because I need other people to weigh in. And in fact, just to cement how much I've not thought about this, Steve Jobs, a polarizing person. One thing that I would do if I was a billionaire and people would think it was neat and not weird, I'd wear the same outfit every day. He had his turtleneck and certain jeans and certain shoes. And when you're a billionaire and you're rich, you can do that and it's not weird at all. People just think, oh, he's so driven and focused. But like, I can't do that because then it's like, ew, he's gross. And he has the same outfit on. But I totally get it because that's what like t-shirt, shorts, some kind of shoe, great, locked in. I'll do that till I have to switch to pants because it's cold enough out. And then I'll switch back when pants season is over. And I'd be fine. I'd be fine.
There you go.
Well, some people can't sneak through the airport, namely NBA stars. I saw Scottie Pippin at the Columbus airport.
Oh, nice. Did you ask him why the long face?
Whoa, what? Hold on. Sorry. Stop everything. Jiminy Christmas. Why
Corey's auto zoom is doing fun things.
Can I even turn off?
He's got to make sure the logos on a shirt get seen. There's a contractual there's a contractual obligation for airtime on YouTube.
I thought it just picked up on Kendall's nose joke and zoomed in on mine. So I'm in the security line on Sunday morning, and the Ohio State spring game was the day before, and Scottie Pippen's son, that Sherry told me later because I didn't know, had just committed to play basketball at Ohio State, and Scottie Pippen was at the football spring game. So that's why he was in town. He's unmistakable, right? To your point. I mean, his face, his nose, it's Scottie Pippin. So I'm like 5 behind him in line. And like, if you know Terminal B at the Columbus airport, there's the side area with the restaurants. I think it's like a Burger King and a Tim Hortons where people wait for their loved
there's a little food court there.
The little food court right there. This lady, she was a character. She's going, "Hey, Scotty, hey." And he just turns and he just gives her like a peace sign or whatever. And so we get through security. We're on the other side of TSA now. And my gate is immediately on the other side of the security line. So I don't have to walk any further. But I usually go and get a Starbucks. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to play it cool. I'm not going to I can just say that I've seen him because he's still pretty far ahead of me. But as I'm in line for Starbucks, I'm thinking, I can't be this close to Scottie Pippen because I watched him play with Jordan in the 90s. I mean, I grew up watching those two, right? So I'm like,
yeah.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to casually just really sort of chill, get my coffee and breakfast sandwich. And if he happens to be, because I saw where he sat, I saw which gate he was at. If he's still there and they haven't boarded by the time I'm done, then I'll walk over and just shake his hand. I'm not going to do a photo, ask to do a photo, none of that. I'm just going to be like, Scotty, loved watching you play. Would just love to shake your hand. So I go to Starbucks, I get my coffee and my breakfast sandwich. I come out, I look to my right. Sure enough, he's still sitting there, very relaxed at his gate. So I walk over. Oh, I had this shirt on. So he looks at me because you can't miss this shirt. And as I get closer, though, now we've locked eyes, and he sees that I'm making a beeline right for him. And then I notice he's got AirPods in, but I don't know if he's just listening to music or on a call. But I'm processing this as I'm taking even more steps closer to him.
Staring at him right in the eyes.
Looking at him right in the eyes.
Which is awkward, by the way. Like you catch eye contact to somebody that you're walking to too soon, and now it's
now it's like there's 5 more steps till I get here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could have just reached. His arms are long enough. He could have just
It's holding the door open way too early. Somebody's 20 steps away, and you're like, this, I made it weird.
Yeah. So now, okay, so you're having this romantic moment with Scottie Pippin.
I've clocked that he's got AirPods in with the cord, by the way. Can't you afford the new ones? Whatever.
It's airport chic.
So now I'm like, I don't want him to have to go, yeah, man, what's up? Take one out. So I just go, I mouth, if you're not watching us on the podcast, I mouth, I just want to shake your hand. And I stick my hand out, and he nods and smiles. He shakes my hand, and then I just go.
All right. Hey, that was cool, man.
That was it. Just want to shake your hand.
That was was a lot of thought, and you did great.
Way less weird than some of my other celebrity interactions. I'm getting better. But it was I can't be this close and not at least, go for it. What the heck, right? So it was cool. Probably going to be seeing a lot more of him here in Columbus. So I posted this on Facebook, just the text. Just met Scottie Pippen in the airport. What? Loved watching 33 growing up. And Midler Sherry was like, photo or it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't want to be that guy. But people were like, yeah, he was at this such steakhouse in Columbus last night. So apparently he was out making the rounds. But yeah, pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
You know what else is pretty cool? This podcast in the Odd Pods Media Network. You should check them out.
Greetings, fellow nerds. It's Garrett, your host of The Nodak Nerd, part of Odd Pods Media, the podcast where we explore the vast realms of geekdom. From the latest superhero flicks to retro video games and everything in between, we've got you covered. Join me for insightful reviews, hilarious discussions, and maybe even a few heated debates. Find The Nodak Nerd wherever you listen to podcasts. Let's get nerdy.
Okay, so I've been trying to put a list together, and I'm only too deep, but it's been astonishingly a long amount of time, and it makes
Short
me
list.
appreciate that people do like these like most popular or whatever sayings in the Midwest, and then I don't know. I mean, I assume that they're just scouring the internet and regurgitating information and compiling and that kind of thing. I've started making a list of things that white women say.
You've got two.
And I only have two.
Okay.
I'm at two things that I can for sure say that white women say these things. And every time I hear that somebody said these things, it is going to be a white woman that pops in like virtually everybody's heads. All right. And they're relatively innocuous. The first one is referring to fall as sweater weather. I feel like that is legitimately a white woman thing. And then the second white woman thing I've got is that when you eat something that is unhealthy but delicious, you refer to it as dangerous. Like, oh, these are dangerous. That's a white woman thing. So this is just my call out to you two and to everybody else that I'm trying to put this list together. And my challenge to everybody is don't resort to any other lists. Let's see if we can come up with our own organic white women saying list.
This is fun. This is a good one. I've been on this things white people say tip, and there's a lot of these going around on Instagram Reels right now. But I like the specifics. This also reminds me of the time when we brought up on the podcast. I think it was a Reddit thread that one of you guys brought up, and it was like things black people have always wanted to ask white people. And it was like totally safe. It was like it didn't get nasty. It was like actually very endearing and sweet that like some of the things that black folks wanted to know about white people. And then one of them was like, why do y'all call your sons Bub or Bubba or Bubby? So that could be a white woman one. Like
could be.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's funny. I like this. We'll keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweater weather. I wonder if that happened before or after the SNL sketch, the sweater weather. Like it had to inform that.
That could be. I bet you Saturday Night Live was going down the same. There's a writer at SNL that was also thinking of what white women say.
Yeah, I like this.
Sweater weather.
I feel like people need to chime in on this one on socials and let us know if you've got any more ideas we can discuss. That's such a that's hard to think of on the spot, but I'm sure we could come up with a good list over time. And then
it is. Yeah. Cause it's
pick them apart.
I mean, there's all kinds of white women. Like you can just go on to like Pinterest and find all kinds of white women things, right? Like live, laugh, love signs made out of like reclaimed wood. Like that kind of thing is very much a white woman thing. But what else?
Well, what inspired it? Can I ask what inspired it?
No,
where did you get the idea?
I heard somebody refer to something as dangerous, and the thought popped into my mind that like that's very much a white woman thing to say. And then I was like, are there others? I was like, well, there's one other.
Hence the list. I feel like
two makes a list.
The It's Dangerous one is also not just unhealthy foods, but like a cocktail that they can barely taste the alcohol in.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, that's dangerous, Stacy.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Stacy, I could have 6 of these. You can't even taste it.
These are so dangerous. I'd get it away from me. It's dangerous.
Yeah, that's good.
Funny. Or Stewie from Family Guy would also say these things.
Oh, that's true. Now I just got to pull like Stewie's like best quotes from Stewie on Family Guy and just see how many of those could also double for your list.
Yeah.
If you could double it from 2 to 4, we'd be feeling pretty hot. You know what I mean?
I agree. Because so many of them are things that like are quotes that I could attribute to white women, but not necessarily things I always hear them say. You know,
I like this.
Similar to the live, laugh, love thing. Also the like, you know, pardon the mess for making memories thing, like all of that stuff. And some of these are going to be probably millennial specific. I feel like those we've talked about hanging like signs as art. Corey, you brought that up once, and that's I think a female millennial thing, similar to millennial gray on the walls and millennial gray color schemes.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the younger generations are now like, why are millennials so depressed with their walls? That's what it is.
We should identify a word for the year at New Year's time. That's a white woman thing. What's our word for this year, babe? Babe, what's our word for this year? Speaking of dangerous things, I discovered a new ice cream treat while I was in the Bay Area.
Ooh.
I'm going to share.
Dangerous?
It was, that's why I went there, right? That's requesting screen share.
I'll allow it.
These make it so.
It's food related. I'll allow it.
These are called It's It. It's this one here. It's 2 oatmeal cookies.
Okay.
With ice cream in the middle.
Nice.
Dipped in chocolate. A very thin layer of chocolate.
Oh.
And
it's kind of like a Scotch egg of the dessert world.
It's the originals are from San Francisco. It started in 1928. They have strawberry? Anyway, I was at a fancy office, and in the office they had a mini freezer that had these and like Snickers ice cream bars and little tiny ice creams. I had like 3 of these things over the course of 2 days. And they're smaller than an oatmeal cream pie. They look large in the photo, but they're actually, maybe like this. They're not too big. So you feel like you're having a decadent little. It's worth going to San Francisco for, y'all. They're like.
It's it.
It's it. They're legit. Big fan.
That sounds like something would be right up my alley. And that created a really great transition until I realized how uncomfortable it would be to say. So I'm not going to use the transition, but just imagine I had a witty transition here to something that I wanted to ask about.
It's already there, buddy.
Yeah, perfect. Whatever makes it more awkward. So we love to try sodas. Mountain Dew has a new dirty Mountain Dew cream soda. I don't know if you've seen this one. Have you had it yet, Kendall?
Yeah.
And okay, so I enjoy trying Mountain Dews, especially, but certainly not limited to Mountain Dews. Anyways, I was intrigued to try this. I got it. I've had a handful of cans. It's kind of weird, but what it really reminds me of is ice cream floats, which I guess kind of makes sense, like cream soda, whatever, but not like root beer. It was root beer. As kids, we would do root beer in like Big Red floats. I don't know if that was a thing. And so it reminds me more of like the Big Red, like a citrusy, fruity type, not a root beer type. It's weird. I don't love it. I'm glad I tried it. Reminds me of if Big Red were melted, if a Big Red float had melted and was still cold. That's kind of what it tastes like to me.
Yeah.
Do you agree? Did you like it?
I didn't really like it. I very much wanted to like it, and it sounds great. I know Taco Bell is like a little while ago got on the dirty soda wagon, which my understanding of a dirty soda is literally just mixing cream in with whatever, and they've been doing like dirty Baja Blasts and stuff, which I have not tried. But I'm wondering if those got really popular, and so then Mountain Dew, who clearly has a close relationship with Taco Bell.
Yeah,
this article try to can it.
I think so.
And maybe didn't translate well with the like trying to process it this way. I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan either. I haven't seen that dragon fruit one that's shown up on screen. I've not seen that one yet.
It's not a panther, it's a dragon.
Made from bits of real panther.
This article alludes to the dirty soda thing coming out of Utah, right? Because they don't have on paper they don't drink alcohol there. And so the dirty soda thing became especially popular there. That was going to be part of my segue. You can start piecing it together. Anyways, So I had talked about this with a coworker from Utah, and they don't drink soda, so that didn't help at all. Because I wanted to ask, have you? This is like a thing that would have been made. Um, this would have been made before Mountain Dew canned it and sold it themselves there. Like
Right.
taking a soda, pouring in creamer, adding in fruit, doing whatever. That's exactly so like it almost felt like a McDonald's burger versus a homemade burger kind of. Maybe a homemade version would have been way better if people were already slinging Mountain Dews with creamer in it. But it was not helpful. They didn't drink soda. So it's fascinating. I do love trying weird sodas. Canada Dry has a strawberry fruit splash right now. That's nice. Not a big ginger ale person. That one's kind of fun though, because it's not super gingery. It's like strawberry with a little bit of kick. Um, but yeah, it was a weird one. Little sad. Didn't love it.
Little sad, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mountain Dew usually does a really good job with their flavors, to the point where like I was convinced that it's impossible to screw up Mountain Dew no matter what you add to it.
Sure.
I think the dirty one is a little bit too far to the left there.
Yep. You're right though. There's definitely Taco Bell and Mountain Dew certainly seem like bedfellows. They're often associated with one another. I think Ohioans love both of those pretty well. Big Taco Bell state, big Mountain Dew state. I fall right into
and
that
Doritos.
and Doritos.
That's
It's like the college gamer commercial just writes itself, but for like the whole state of Ohio.
yeah.
Some collab with first person shooter like Call of Duty or
Yeah,
Yep.
sure, why not? Yep, all in the same commercial, and they would just cross market, kind of like your shirt. Just slap everything in one place.
throw it all on.
Just throw it all on. Yep, there you go.
Well, they can't all be winners, but it's good to have some variety. Speaking of variety, before I tell you the story, I don't pay for this stuff by myself. I'm not.
Quit hedging.
I'm not fancy. I didn't pay for this hotel stay. I got to stay at my first 4 seasons
Oh, cool. Were your New York friends there?
in Silicon Valley. And
those friends.
the hotel room itself was fine. It's a much older hotel, but the experience, there was some fun experiential things. And that's small. This is like the perfect person from the middle reacting to a fancy lifestyle that he could not otherwise afford. One thing that I liked, when they cleaned your rooms each day, if you had anything plugged in, they would like perfectly wind it up and then put a Velcro little strap and buckle around every cord with a little Four Seasons logo on the Velcro strap. I was like,
wow.
Nice touch.
Wow.
The other thing I didn't notice until the last night, which is a shame because as I get older, I don't argue about which category tomatoes get in. I have troubles with the pillows that I use, or the pillows, as you might say.
Speaking of Ohio things, my
pillows. So the last night I looked to my left, and on the nightstand is a little card that I hadn't noticed all week. And it says pillow menu. And I was like, oh, this is like little decadent treats that you could like order late at night, like their late night food menu, room service menu. Nope. It's a menu of at least 10 different pillows that you could order if you didn't like the ones on the bed, with descriptions and then like a dot scale of how soft or firm it was.
Wow.
And like little drawings if it was like ergonomic or like one of those, pillow cubes or whatever. I was like, a pillow menu.
Wow.
What? I wish I would have noticed it earlier. I would have taken advantage because I like a firm, I'm a side sleeper, so I need like a firm pillow.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was the only thing I wanted to say about the Four Seasons.
That's next level.
They wrap up your cords cool, and they got different kinds of pillars.
One time I stayed in one of these places where like the door to your room was like inside, like you were already inside, and then you opened a door to get inside of your room. So that was crazy. Like you opened the door to leave your room, and you're still inside. It was crazy.
You didn't have to park by your door.
Yeah, that was the only inconvenient part, is that like, my car wasn't right there. But
I'm going to use the word complaining. You weren't saying it that harshly, but it's funnier if I say complaining. You complaining about your Four Seasons room made made the
Never.
made the quote. It was old and small and run down. It wasn't up to what I expected from my set. But it reminds me of in Friends when Chandler says Joey has two women in love with him. And then Chandler says, "Oh no, two women love me. They're both gorgeous and sexy. My wallet's too small for my 50s, and my diamond shoes are too tight."
Oh, I have this fun little tradition with Cher when I'm on the road that I take like a little video of the room, just like because she is curious about my view or whatever, like, and how the hotel rates. And so I did our usual thing where I'm like, this is my room. And even she, who is like not at all judgy or like pampered like that, is like, the room looks just not what you would expect in your head when you picture a room at a Four Seasons. You're like, oh, and she's like, it looks like rooms I've seen at the DoubleTree or whatever. So it didn't just jump out as anything special. Is all I meant.
Yeah, sure.
And my diamond shoes are too tight.
Yeah. By the way, and Scottie Pippin's doing just fine.
We're homies now. We exchange numbers. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all I got, boys. I'm tapped out. What are we streaming? Dillon, I watched the Trust Me doc.
And
Flight Over. Wild.
Not for children.
Not for children. Just one that.
Hold on. If you missed it, it's the Trust Me. It's on Netflix for people who don't know what we're about to start talking about. If you want to add it to your queue while Corey.
Since we brought up Utah and Dirty Pop.
Yes, exactly. Trust Me. I'm trying to remember the name. I can't. The Netflix app doesn't let you search like a normal app anymore. It's the worst. It's like AI or something. Hold on.
So while you're doing that, I'll acknowledge that the fundamentalist Latter-day Saints is already an extreme fundamentalist sect of LDS. You got your blur on. There you go.
There it is.
Trust Me, The False Prophet on Netflix.
So FLDS is already like a fundamentalist, extreme, like to the letter sect of LDS. And then this guy spins off and does an even wilder version of FLDS. So fascinating. Just I don't know what else to say. It was really good.
It's wild. It's a wild. And then the lady who's like the plant within and her background.
And she's so conflicted because she genuinely cares about these women and is trying to get them out of it because she had a similar experience in her life. Mm-hmm. But then she knows they're going to hate me because they're so zealous about their faith.
Yep.
They're going to hate me for helping them. And I can only hope and pray that they'll thank me later because they're so, I think it's safe to say they're pretty boxed in and they're sort of limited in their critical thinking. They even admit that in the documentary. They're very loyal to the prophet and it's all about obedience. And so they don't question things. They just do what they're told to a fault and to the point that pretty egregious things are happening that they don't question because they're like, well, the prophet said, and you're like, oh,
you can see the recurring pattern amongst other cults and extremist groups where othering and fear is used to create division so that you can't ever trust or question or everyone's an enemy. Because if there's any level of empathy or gray area, people are open to like, oh, maybe I'm wrong. But if everyone's always a hardline enemy, so you can see this playing out in conversations
and the entire town is basically a part of the group. So there's there's virtually no outsiders. So they're literally sequestered, told to obey, and then you see how regressed they are in some of their critical thinking skills. And anyway, it was just wow. So And so there's this, just go check it out if you're into that sort of thing. Not for kids, but wild, and just a fascinating study of human psychology and the stuff that you don't realize goes on in the United States.
I was going to say, like that's the thing that's surprising, right? It's like we're used to our little suburban lives, and like we hear about what life is like in other parts of the world and different cultures and things, but then to realize that, like, man, for some people, like, you just get in the car and drive a little bit and find it.
Yeah.
You could see how even non-extreme examples, it's not much of a stretch when the Amish refer to non-Amish as the English, or you have very rural and very urban folks that intersect places, or north-south, Southerners calling the Northerners Yankees or whatever. Like, you could see how that's just like a tiny inch away from normal, but there's already a little bit of that, like, it's a pretty different world and you're not that far apart kind of thing, but then to your point, Corey, they're almost exclusive within this town. So it's not like there's a town and they make up, I'm making up numbers, but it's not like they're in a town and they make up 10% of the town. They're like most of this town that's its own little bubble. And so there's not even like a bunch of English going to visit the Amish and all commingling constantly in Amish country in Ohio or Pennsylvania or Indiana. This is like even more secluded than that. And then amped up by some of the other stuff happening. So
yeah,
just crazy.
Sorry to jump in, but you had mentioned it last week, and I wanted to say I watched all 4 episodes on the flight over because I was just like,
yeah, I think we binged it all at once, and maybe 2 nights. Maybe we watched the last episode and a half the second night, but we watched it all quick, and it was bizarre.
Yeah.
So I mentioned that my birthday, I was off an extra day catching up on some stuff. I finally watched over the last, I think, couple weeks, but I finished Mission Possible 7 and 8. It's like a 30-year journey of getting from the first one to the last one. We did it, all very fun, all very much exactly like you expect them to be. Just a fun action spy thriller. Still watching Daredevil on Netflix, which is fantastic. Star Wars, there's a new animated series called Maul. If you watch Solo, the live action Star Wars movie called Solo, at the very end, teaser for like a 10-year-old movie. I don't know how old it is at this point. At the very end, there's a post-credit scene with Darth Maul, who appears as like a hologram talking to one of the characters. This show is basically an animated version of what you would have wanted to see based on that teaser. So like Maul is a crime lord. It just happens to be animated, but it's really good so far. So Mission Possible, Daredevil, Maul, the Star Wars Maul series, probably some other stuff, but all's been really fun. All good stuff to watch.
Kendall?
Really nothing but sports. Still, Mission Impossible. Did you say, are you watching that with Bree?
She does not watch the Mission Impossible movies. I watch them by myself.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
I heard a meme recently that said that like a big part of parenting is wanting to watch things, but your kids are too young to watch it, and so you have to wait until they go to bed, but you can't watch it by yourself because it's something that your wife also wants to watch. And so you both wait until the kids go to bed. And then by the time they go to bed and everybody's like actually asleep, it's too late and you're too tired. And so you just go to bed and you just end up never watching anything.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of that, but like her and I generally don't have a problem finding things to watch. It's that it's the watching the stuff I know she won't want to watch. So it's like, I don't want to make you watch something I know you're not interested in. So I'll try to carve out some time, whatever that could happen, to like watch the thing that I know I just want to watch.
That's the thing, because when you do finally get time that you're not exhausted, it feels selfish to peel off and be like, I'm just gonna go do my own thing.
Mind if I
in the other room.
I know it. Even at that, like we were talking to some family at Easter about watching something, and it's like somebody made the comment, "Oh, I started it last night. I'll try to finish it tomorrow." And I'm like, "That's pretty fast." Sometimes I start a movie and it's like 3 weeks later or a month later, and then I'm like, I'm gonna finally watch the second half or another third of this, and then in a couple weeks I'll watch another third of this. So I lucked out because we were watching Modern Family together. We'd never watched that, so we're I think on season 3. She fell asleep on the couch. It was early enough that I'm like, I'm gonna switch to Maul and finish Maul
There you go.
until she wakes up because they're like 25-minute episodes. I can watch several. So even that just kind of worked out. I'm like, if she wakes up, I'll turn Modern Family back on. But until then, I'm gonna catch up on a couple episodes.
It would have been fun for her to wake up and then you try to explain how Modern Family got to like how the storyline, how much she missed, and now it's this.
Turns out Realty was a real pipeline for Phil to turn into a crime lord in outer space. And now he runs several criminal underground organizations. So that's where we are. Phil's no longer a realtor.
And this is an animated episode. Didn't they?
This is, some episodes do like musical episodes. This is like they're doing an animated episode, but not musical.
Wasn't there like when there was a strike or something, or maybe it was during COVID and they weren't recording? There were some Blacklist did an episode,
an animated,
that's true.
An animated episode, which was really freaking awesome. And I'm trying to think if others did that were around during that era, because Modern Family would have been one of those.
Yeah, I think a lot of shows just did a short season or took a hiatus.
Yeah.
I don't recall any other examples, but
I loved what Blacklist did with that. That was really cool.
Creative. That's fun. Well, it's also been fun hanging out with you all. And we're at an hour. So thanks for tuning in, Middlers. We love you. And maybe we'll catch you at the airport.
See ya.